Hi, everyone. So let me see. I can do this. Probably not. Hi, everyone. My name is Deontay Chantel, and thanks for joining me. Hold on one second. I'm trying to get this together. Hi, how are you? I need to buy a new stand for my phone so I can be on Instagram and wherever else I need to be. But I hope everyone's doing well. Can y'all hear me? Type 1 if you can hear me. I'm also on Facebook today. I'm going to try to do both, Facebook and Instagram. But if you can hear me, type 1. I pray everybody's doing well. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays, all that good stuff. And if this is your first time joining me on a live, I guess you should put first time joining me. On Facebook, I'm pretty sure you're used to me at this point. But hi, Facebook. Hi, Instagram. So yeah, happy holidays. I pray everyone had a great week. You're executing, you're doing what you need to do. We're in the last 5 to 6 weeks of the year. So it is do or die, literally. Fourth quarter 2020 is about to be over. So whatever you have not done thus far, it's not too late. Try to get it done. Make a vision, plan out what you want to do, and execute. Oh, awesome. I'm glad, Fatima, you were able to come on here and join us for the first time. Make sure, Fatima, you go check out my podcast as well, Journey to DevelopHer. The link is in the bio. And the Black Real Estate Dialogue platform is such an amazing platform. It was actually my first podcast episode, and I was just speaking from the heart. So I'm glad you enjoyed that. Hey, Naeem. What's going on? All right, so we're about to get started. So tonight we're going to talk about real estate mistakes to avoid. Okay. So I have about 10. I don't know if I'm going to get through all of those. But what I will say is that there's a lot of ways that you can go wrong in real estate. So there's a lot of ways you can lose money, build a bad rapport. You can really set yourself back. And I'm going to make sure everybody on Facebook can hear me as well. And shout out to everybody that is in the Journey to DevelopHer Academy. We've been rocking and rolling for the last 4 weeks. It's been great. And fortunately, this come Tuesday will be our last meeting for the series, the Journey to DevelopHer series. But I'm going to try to keep the group active and allow people to participate. So if you haven't joined the Academy yet, we have 1 class left, and we're actually going to talk about development. So we're going to speak about land investing as well as real estate development. And I think we might touch on how to invest in commercial buildings. It's only like a 1 hour to 2 hour class. I can't teach you everything in 2 hours. So it's basically going to be touching the surface in the real estate development space, how to analyze deals. Of course, for you to fully execute in development, you do need to become very knowledgeable about it and work with me directly, or at least do your own research and due diligence on how to get started in the development space. But definitely join the Journey to Developer Academy. The last class is going to be Tuesday, December 1st. And then we're going to have a master class coming up, hopefully before December is over. And that's going to be discussing nonprofits and real estate investing and how you can merge the two and still be eligible for all of the nonprofit benefits. So, and why it's actually beneficial to invest and to revitalize communities by using a nonprofit. All right, so I'm going to get started soon. I see people hopping in. Hi, everyone. I'm going to say hi, wave to you. And then Facebook, I don't know if I can see your comments, but I hope you can see and hear me. But just, I guess, type in the comments. Say hi in the comments so I can test it out. But yeah. All right, so I'm about to get started. I don't want to hold you up. So the number one rule, or the number one thing I think everyone should know is you need to know how to analyze a real estate deal. And if you don't know how to analyze a real estate deal, that's like mistake number one. Okay, you're going to overpay. You're not going to have enough money to invest. You're going to be wasting a lot of time and money, depending on if you're starting with money or not. But the number one rule and the number one thing to avoid mistakes is, of course, learning how to analyze a real estate deal in a transaction. And this is going to have different mistakes in one. So the goal is to learn how to do it so you can avoid other mistakes. So you're going to need to know how to, one, run comps, and to also evaluate what the after repair value is on a house, because you're going to need to know that in order to do the 60 to 70% rule, which I think hopefully most of you know what that is. But if you don't, that is the rule that allows you to make your max allowable offer. So it's 60 to 75% of the after repair value minus the repairs. But if you don't know how to figure out what the after repair value is, or if you don't know how to do a scope, I'm not going to count on you to learn how to do a scope of work. You should hire a general contractor. Hey, Malcolm. You should hire a general contractor to give you a proper scope of work or a rehab budget. But as you get comfortable in this business, we'll say, you'll know what an average roof would cost to repair. You would know typically what a shell would cost to repair, just looking at it from the outside. So once you get used to this business, you'll know that, all right, for a single family house, my all-in rehab budget for a full gut is about $55,000, right? And then once you get to a two-family, you know the budget for a maximum about $110,000. That, that'll just come with the territory as you get comfortable. However, I still recommend that you hire a licensed general contractor to give you a scope of work, right? So you're going to need to know the after repair value, which you can pretty much calculate by going to Zillow or Realtor.com, all of these websites, listing websites, and you're basically going to take the houses that sold in the area in the last 6 months, and you're going to get the average, okay? Now, the best sites to do this work for you, especially to find out the comp, of course, is going to be Propstream. If you're a realtor already, you have databases and softwares that you can use, but for people that are not realtors and don't have access to the MLS, my favorite to use is Propstream. Right now, if you want to use Propstream, I do have a free link in my bio that you could try it out for 7 days. All right, but you still, even with using Propstream, you want to get comfortable with knowing how to do it on your own. Because sometimes Propstream, they may add in like a house that really isn't equivalent to what you're selling or will be buying. So know what to look for. Try to look for houses that are similar to what you intend to sell this house for, or has the same matching rehab or same square footage, less than a mile to, we'll say a half a mile to a mile away from where you're flipping your house, okay? You can even just contact a realtor that you make a rapport with, and they may just give you comps for the area. All right, so you're gonna, in order for you to analyze the deal, again, you're gonna need to know what the ARV is, or the comps, as well as what the rehab budget is gonna be. I would just always, if you're not sure, just assume it's a full rehab, okay? And I would even do that when putting in offers anyway. If you're out there on your own, you don't have the proper guidance with a contractor. So, okay, analyzing deals, you need to have that 65 to 70% rule intact. Again, that's 60 to 70% of the ARV minus the repairs. And that's the most amount of money you should probably offer for a house. All right. So another mistake I see people making is, you guessed it, hiring a bad contractor. Okay, I just did a free consult earlier with a young lady, and she didn't hire a good contractor. So now her project is not done, it's delayed. Luckily, she didn't really waste a lot of money. She did, for the most part, pay this guy money up front. He didn't really finish. He's requesting more money. Again, luckily, she didn't waste money, because it could have went way wrong. Okay, so she didn't really lose much money. She didn't lose any money, actually, but she was still concerned that she paid this contractor money and they did not finish the project, and they want more money, and they're not finished yet. So contractors are extremely hard to do business with. I am blessed that I am a general contractor, and I'm engaged to a general contractor. But although I'm a general contractor and I'm engaged to one, sometimes when we're hiring subcontractors, it can go bad. The good thing is we are skilled in that area, so we know when people are doing things incorrect. Okay? That's why I always tell people, learn the business. And I felt like I had this conversation before on here, but I personally had a job where this investor, he's been in the business 20 years, but he doesn't know anything outside of putting up the money. And ultimately, even though he had 20, 25 years in this game, he still got screwed over. Okay, so you can be a veteran, a real estate veteran in this game, and still get screwed over by contractors. So you have to vet them very closely. Now, of course, they have websites like angieslist.com. I think HomeLight is one too. I don't know. But they have many different websites where you can see the ratings of a contractor. I would go on that. I would also go on referrals. And also, when you see these contractors doing projects, as you're driving by, start getting their number, do some walkthroughs of their properties. I don't even like to take people's word on like what they did in pictures. Like, I need to see you in a job site. I like to walk through and make sure you're not a sloppy contractor. And because I like really clean lines in houses. So I like to get that hands-on experience. Okay, anybody can show a picture and say, I did this work. So vet them closely. Now, when it comes to paying them, I say you should always be in control of the money. You should always be the one buying the material. Okay? Buying your own material is very important, because what they will do is they will add their own little fee onto it or upsell the material when it's not that expensive. So buy your own material. I wouldn't even pay people money up front. Okay? I would pay people based on projects. And I also would pay people based on the percentage of work they have completed. So it depends on the scenario. So if you're hiring, let's say you're hiring a guy to do your floors, okay, ask him how much is he going to charge for the project. If it seems too expensive, it probably is, right? So what you should do is go, literally, they have the simplest thing for free. Go to Google and put how much would it cost for flooring, a roof, plumbing in my zip code or in my city or town. And when you do that, it's going to tell you the average, right? So that'll help you be able to hit or miss if the contractor is charging you at a rate, okay? So that's just like a free suggestion. But what I was going to say was, if you're going to do it based on a project, again, when that first day they start, and you can also find out like the time it should take, the time duration it should take to get projects done. The first day they start, if they're going extremely slow, you need to pay them based on the percentage that they actually completed, okay? I would never give nobody half of the money up front. You'll get half of the money when you get half of the project done. Now, not for nothing, they might get half the project done the first day. Cool. Then that's when they'll get half of the money. All right. I see too many times people give a third, half of the money, and then people run away with the money and never come back to finish a project. So I don't recommend that. Of course, you can attempt to hire daily laborers. You know, that's typically the individuals that you'll find at Home Depot. Got to be careful with them. It may be a little cheaper, the labor. However, more now than ever, they're not really doing good work either. So again, it's learning the business when you get into the real estate business. What I'm noticing is people are going on YouTube and they're thinking, okay, I could rehab, I could wholesale, I could do this, I could do that. But they don't know nothing about nothing. Yeah, YouTube is not going to teach you anything. You're going to need hands-on experience. I would definitely recommend a mentor, whether it's definitely a rehabber. If you intend to get into rehabs, and my team is laughing. If you intend to get into rehabs or development, you definitely need a mentor that's in that space. So you can be hands-on in their face. Of course, you're going to have to pay them. You have to invest in yourself. Okay, so investing in yourself is going to require money. You're going to have to do that. I'm just letting y'all know. That's what you got to do. Hands-on mentorship, you got to pay. Unless you're bringing something to the table. And I mean, you have to be very valuable, such as you're bringing properties to them for cheap. That's the only way people are really going to do mentorships with you at this point. And at that point, they're still not going to do a real mentorship. They're not going to, they'll just be like, hey, you can hang out with me there, but they're not going to be teaching you like a course. So if you want to learn from a course and hands-on, you're going to have to pay for that. All right. Hey, Delisha, my sister's on here. So also, when it comes to contractors, I would also go on Yelp. Yelp is a really good site. They have Google Business. They may have reviews on there. And if they're not really set up as a proper business, you want to be wary of that too. Okay, but of course you want to make sure they have like their general contracting license, they have insurance policy. Another great way to realize if they're a good contractor is if they have a surety bond. It's a surety bond. And that's pretty much like an extra insurance policy in the event they don't finish your project on time or if they do a poor job with your project. So the bigger the company is, you'll start to see they have extra qualifications and paperwork. Because in all reality, you could sue them if they don't perform in a timely manner, especially if you have a contract with them, a construction contract, you can sue them. And their bonding company will pay out on it. Okay? So in the event they don't have a surety bond, you can let them know simply, If you want to work on this project, you need to go get one. And they can go get one for that project. If they're a legit company, they're probably going to charge you a little bit more, but at least you know that, all right, if they don't perform correctly, if the work is botch work, or they just walk up the job and leave me hanging, at least you know you can go and sue them and you will be paid off by the bonding company. Okay? Does anybody have any questions so far? Let's see who's on here. Okay, so we have Nigel. History is part of me, Fatima. Be wise. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so another mistake investors or newbie investors make is that they don't save enough money. They don't have enough reserves or capital. And most of the time you'll need reserves or capital for closing costs. That's number one. I literally seen an investor about a month ago. They wanted to hire us to do the construction project. So we were going to get hired as GCs. And they got a sweet deal in New Jersey for $40,000. And it was in Trenton, New Jersey. However, they didn't close on the property. And they couldn't close because they didn't have the closing costs. I'm like, well, you should know you need closing costs to close. Like, that's a no-brainer. And they said the realtor told me, no, the realtor didn't tell me I needed closing costs. So I don't know who dropped the ball there, but common sense should tell you that you need closing costs to buy real estate. But some people don't know that, even with regular retail buyers. I don't know why they don't know that, but they don't. This particular group of investors, mind you, didn't know. And they were new investors. So the house wound up going back on the market or going to another investor. But I say all that to say they didn't get the property. So always budget for closing costs. Always budget for holding costs as well. So holding costs are typically like what you would pay for taxes, insurance on the property, of course, utilities. In real estate development, the development costs, like just because you purchased a lot for $2,000, okay, you still have to buy and pay for the plan, the survey. A lot that goes into development, especially. And even if it's a rehab, you sometimes have to pay for the plans, especially if you think you're on HGTV, you want to knock out walls and all of this stuff, add bathrooms. Sometimes you do have to have architectural plans. Okay, so Nigel said, got to have some type of money in the bank. Absolutely, because you're really going to need it. So whether you have money in the bank and or if your credit is good, of course, you can leverage your credit to get business lines of credit or personal lines of credit or credit cards under your business. So you'll have that extra startup capital. Okay, so some people, they're able to put everything on their business credit cards. All right, but just know that that's what you have to budget for. Holding costs, closing costs, development costs. Like I have 3 lots that I have right now, and guess what? I didn't start building yet, but I have to pay for taxes. So I actually paid like 2 tax bills today. I have like 1 more, but that's it. The third one is out of state. But yeah, I have to pay for taxes. I have to pay for lights. I have to pay for water. I have to pay for different things. So always budget for that. And even as a landlord, you should definitely budget for all of the expenses it takes to be a landlord. Like that's a no-brainer. Are those a percentage? Okay. I think B is asking, what is the percentage that you should budget for closing costs? I think that's what you're asking, right, B? So I would say about 8, they say anywhere between 5 to 10% you should budget for closing costs. Holding costs, I don't really know the percentage, and I say that because every house is different. It depends on the house and the state. So before you get into the deal, you should be looking up, like, as soon as you get a deal in the contract, this is another mistake people make. Now, I'm going to go to it now. As soon as you get a deal on the contract, you should be looking up the taxes. And if you're in New Jersey or anywhere in this country, if it's an abandoned house when you purchased it, the taxes are going to be low. But as soon as you rehab it, the taxes are going to go to the appropriate amount. So you want to make sure you budget for that in the future, because I had another guy on Instagram. I like him a lot, but I think when I first met him, I was like, oh, what are the taxes? And he was like, oh, it's low. I was like, oh, okay, they're going to go up. And he was like, no, well, they're low. Sure enough, they went up. And they went up like 50%, because when he purchased that house, it was abandoned. It needed a full rehab, and he did that. He made it look beautiful. But guess what? Now the taxes are about $13,000, $14,000 a year. Okay, New Jersey is high taxes, y'all. So it went from being like $4,000, $5,000, all the way up to like $13,000, $14,000. So that really ate into his profit, his monthly profit. Okay, that's like paying $1,000 a month or more in taxes. That's crazy. Jersey is just nuts. So with that being said, pay attention to what can happen once you actually rehab a property, and pay attention and calculate your expenses for when, especially if you're going to buy and hold the property. You should know what your monthly expenses are. You should also account for property management and or handyman services. You should also account for utilities, water, sewage, things like that. Of course, depending on the area or the state, you can allow your tenants to pay for mostly all of the utilities, but it really depends. So someone asks, new construction taxes are higher than a rehab? Absolutely. So new construction rehabs in New Jersey, oh goodness, like $15,000. But I will say, I don't like putting this information out there. So I will say, if the developer who builds the house save all their receipts and whatever they need to qualify for a tax abatement, the city will give them a tax abatement. So when you're buying a brand new construction, you want to make sure that developer did that. So you're not walking into a $15,000 a year tax bill. And that tax abatement typically will only be for 5 years. And at the end of the 5 years, you'll be going back to the regular price. So you just want to be careful. New Jersey does have this program where you own the house, but you don't own the land. And what they'll allow you to do is, I guess your house goes on this 100-year lease, like the land goes on a 100-year lease, and then they won't pay you. I mean, they won't charge you much for taxes. But after 100 years, it's like you don't own the land anymore, and I guess you don't own the house. So if that's something you're interested in, I could tell you more about that. But I don't think that's a good idea. But who knows? It depends on the investor. And it also, I would say, would depend on if they're actually going to allow me to take out a mortgage on my house or refinance or pull the equity out. Maybe it might work for me. But if they're strictly focused on, or also if they're telling me I have to live in a property, I wouldn't do it. But if you want to know more about that, I'll post it in the group. I actually have somebody that sent me that information. Actually, when I was trying to buy a house for the first time, like 6-7 years ago, they presented me with that same opportunity, and I was like, I don't think so. Because I don't like really living in multifamilies with people. Not in my house, no. Like I personally don't like the idea of house hacking. For myself, it's great for others, but I don't really like it. Yeah, so that program is only in Essex County, New Jersey. So I know your house is in Essex County, so that might work for you. All right. Any questions? Any other questions? I'm sorry, Facebook, I cannot see your questions. So what I'll do on Facebook is, if you ask any questions on here, if you type it, I'll answer it after the fact. But right now, I cannot see it, unfortunately. Okay. Who tells the city that you did a rehab? Okay. So, and when you, basically the municipality, they're going to do a drive-by. So the tax department, or yeah, typically it's just the tax department. They'll do a drive-by, or they'll do an assessment, is what they call it. And they're going to see that the property has had improvements. And then also when you do a full rehab, you actually have to pull permits. So when you pull the permits, they have a record of you doing an extensive rehab project, so they'll know. Now, sometimes if you don't make any improvements to the outside of the house, the taxes will stay low. Because they don't really know what's happening on, like they're also judging it from the outside. So if it looks like ugly on the outside, or the siding is still bad on the outside, and they're judging it based on the outside, then okay, you're in good shape. But if they see like brand new siding, like curb appeal, yeah, they're gonna definitely increase your taxes, your property taxes. Okay. And where are you located? History is a part of me. Hey, Facebook. Yeah, where are you located? History. Yep. So I think I had another point. I just can't look at my notes. Oh, hey. So, yes, we did speak today. We definitely spoke today. Yep. So let's do a Q&A. If y'all have any questions, drop it in the little icon that has a question mark. But those are just a few things that you definitely should avoid when you're getting into real estate investing. Also, I want to say, even though I'm an advocate for partnerships, you also have to be very careful who you partner with. You also have to be careful who you refer business to, or like I'm very leery about giving people my sources that are gonna make me look bad. So I don't know if y'all notice or not. Like I don't just be posting people information like that, because I need to know if you have a plan. If you don't have a plan, I'm not giving you my contacts, because you're not gonna make me look crazy. So just letting you know. You have a plan, you're not gonna waste my contacts' time. You're gonna do right by my lender, especially. Yeah, I need to know what your action plan is. Like I've given out the lender so far in the academy to one person, because she was ready. Like she had a deal under contract, she had her money, she was ready to go. But what we not gonna do is I give you my source, and then y'all just got Deontay looking crazy, because guess what? They're not gonna want to work with me if y'all make me look bad. So I like to evaluate any deal that you would want me to help you get funding for. I need to evaluate it first. I need to make sure you're ready before you get on the phone with people that I know personally. So that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave that right there. But back to what I was saying about the partnerships. I'm an advocate for partnerships, but you want to be careful that you're partnering with people with integrity, with people that have a good reputation. I personally have seen it for myself that a plumber that we had hired on a GC project, he had a bad reputation. We didn't know that. Well, the city of such and such, I'm not going to name the city, but it's a city in New Jersey, they continuously failed this man. And we couldn't figure out why. I know the work was right. So I'm like, why does it keep on failing? Well, it's because his name was on the plumbing permit. Okay, reputation is everything in this business. Even a few people I used to do business with. Just because people know I used to do business with them, I had to like redeem and vindicate myself. I'm like, well, I don't do business with them no more. But that person did so much dirt, so much grimy stuff that if you even utter that person's name in a room, people cringe and they're like, nah, I don't want nothing to do with it. All right, so we have a question. Okay. All right, so Fatima said that she's trying to start an out-of-state investment in Cincinnati, Ohio. Any agents you recommend? So Fatima, I can definitely recommend you an agent in that area. For those who don't know, I am a realtor with eXp Realty, and we are in every state in the United States, which is a blessing. We're also in the UK, we're in Mexico, we're in Ireland, we're in I think we're like in the Middle East and everything now. We're everywhere, Australia. So I do have a database where I can see all the agents in that state. What I'm going to do is, if you want, you have to set up a consult with me. It could just be a home buyer consult if you like. And I could refer you to a real estate agent. Okay. So just go to the consult, the link in the bio, do the home buyer consult, and we can work on finding you somebody. All right. And I would only recommend you work with the investor-friendly realtor. Because some of these realtors don't know nothing. Hate to say that, but they don't. Because, going to real estate school, they don't teach you how to be an investor. You're just learning the law, which has nothing to do with real estate investing. And literally, I know so many real estate agents that get into this business. They say, oh, I want to be a realtor. And they don't make no money at all. Nothing. I'm actually going to do a masterclass soon. It's not going to be free, just so you know. But I'm going to show y'all how I made over 6 figures as a realtor without selling any houses. Okay, so there's different ways to make money as a realtor. Of course, everybody focuses on selling and buying houses with clients, but there's other ways to make money. Okay, and you kind of want to navigate and learn the different ways, because right now there's a lot of realtors, if they don't have a listing, like the actual listing, they're not making any money because their clients' deals are not getting accepted. Okay, so Fatima had another question. CPA, but new. Okay, so she's new to the real estate world. And New York is untouchable for me. Yeah, it's untouchable for me too. But actually, there's pockets in New York that are very affordable. Syracuse, very affordable. It's just far, but it's very affordable. You can get houses in Syracuse for like $5,000. And there's another part of New York. I forgot the name of it. But that's the only place in New York that I forgot the name of the town to tell you guys, but that's the only place I would actually invest, because they're about to build like a Greater Ventures or something. I'm like, oh, that makes sense to invest over there. But otherwise, New York, I don't like New York either for investing. But Syracuse, I think Rochester, going upstate, Buffalo, those are good areas to invest in New York. That's it. And I'm not sure I would do rentals in those areas. Like, you want to make sure you look into the rental laws, the landlord laws out there in those areas, and definitely only do Section 8 and or Airbnb or short-term rentals. That's what I would recommend for New York, because it's a very tenant-friendly state, and everywhere is tenant-friendly because of COVID right now. Of course, we know. Why would an agent not want to be an investor? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, every agent I intend to work with that want to work with me, I always encourage them to be an investor. I would only be an agent for access or just for a name to say I'm an agent. I wouldn't be an agent just to play around. So recently, one of my ex-clients, he reached out to me. He's probably on here somewhere right now. And he's like, oh, I want to sell house. No, he said, I want to be a developer and buy land. I'm going to go get my real estate license. And I told him, I'm like, you don't need your real estate license to do that. You want to learn about investing, let's learn about investing. But you don't need your real estate license to buy properties or to buy land or to develop. The ones I come across don't want to help with pocket deals. Okay. You're gonna have to, all right. So the because you're a new investor, they don't know you. That's why. They don't know you. You're new to the business. Pocket deals are a hot commodity. That's how I made a lot of money in this business. And I was able to get those deals through relationships and rapport. And if you're just a brand new investor coming, they're not gonna pay you no mind because they have so many other investors. They know who they know can close. They prefer to just give all the deals to them. And it's illegal to do that, but that's how it is, unfortunately. So what I would say is right now, pound the phones, reaching out to all of these REO agents out there, all of these agents that you see doing short sales, butter them up, be their friend. Make sure you give them a proof of funds now, show them you have the money, the capital now. So when they get those deals coming in, and they'll be able to refer them to you. And follow up with them. Make sure you're calling them every 2 weeks. Hi, did you get any new deals? Did you get any new deals? I'm still looking for deals. Stalk them a little and start getting in touch with asset managers at these banks. Like, start putting in the work. Definitely. It's a battle, it's a true battle, but start putting in the work and networking with the right people. Because that's where the money is. The bank deals, those REO deals, that's where the real money, and that's how you get the real money. Even if you was trying to wholesale, rehab, or whatever, that's where the money is. All right, I think we have some more questions. Oh, okay. Okay. So Stevenson said, how is the podcast today? What topics did you cover? What podcast? This one? Because I actually did record a podcast episode today, and it's going to be hot fire. So I did an interview today with a gentleman who, he's not a CPA, but he's a tax specialist, and he works for a CPA firm. And we were talking about cost segregation. It's going to be hot fire. I'm not sure when I'm going to release that one, but it's going to be hot fire. I have like so many episodes to release. But I do have an episode dropping by Friday. That's what I can promise. By Friday, I should have one coming out. And that one's going to be about digital real estate. Okay. But today on this live, we spoke about real estate mistakes to avoid. What are your thoughts about corporate rentals? I highly suggest them. You can make a lot of money with those. I would just recommend that you make sure you furnish it really nice, make sure it's clean lines, make sure it has amenities in the unit. Of course, something with a washer and dryer in the unit is going to be always a great selling feature or rental feature or feature. Of course, Wi-Fi, but just have cute furniture. Make sure they feel like they're at home. Like, they should literally just bring their clothes and their toothbrush. That's it. Make sure it's near a hospital or a college or in a business area. But at this point, Near hospitals are best. Near universities are best. You can also do international exchange students, which I don't even know if I know, well, my brothers and sisters, they're away in college still, but what I will say is stick to the medical field for the corporate rentals, because that's the in-demand need right now. I hope I was able to answer that question. Okay, so Nigel asks, how do you get a probate list? So for the state of New Jersey, there's a few ways you can go about getting it. You can go to the courthouse, which I know it's hard to get to the courthouse. So here's a trick about probates. The courthouses are closed in New Jersey, from my understanding. I think they just shut back down. Like they never were open, but like City Hall is closed, the records department is closed. I would say calling Essex County, calling the probate offices and ask them, how do I get the list? But I'm almost certain that they're not gonna say, oh, come in, right? Propstream actually has a list that you could buy. And they also have divorces as well. There's quite a few other lists too, but I can't remember all of them right now. I think one of them is really Flow. They have probate. You have to pay per lead, but they do have it. But the free way to get the probate list is by going to legacy.com, and I think it's obituary.com. And you could actually see in your area who died. The newspaper also, you could see who died in your area. And then you would have to search and do some research online on whether or not they actually owned the house, right? And typically you would take that list to the probate court. But every state is different. So some municipalities, they give you the access on the internet. Unfortunately, in Essex County, is not on the internet. But you know what? I take that back. On Essex County, once you find out if the person died, you start to do a skip trace to see if they own the property. You can always go to the Essex County deed register, and it's gonna tell you if they have a deed in their name. So that's one way, and you can pull up the deeds for free. Okay, it's a little bit of loopholes. You may need help doing it, but that is a free way to find out if a person that died has a house, simply by searching their name on the deed register website. You have to Google what that is, because I don't know the actual website off the top of my head, but I've pulled these myself. So I think my laptop is about to die for Facebook. So, but that's a whole training in itself. Like probate leads are a whole training. You definitely want to network with, of course, realtors, of course, attorneys. So attorneys that handle estate planning and they deal with probate or trust in estates, those are going to be the people that brings you all of the leads. Hey, babe. Also, you want to not hang around, but you want to network with like assisted living facilities. You want to also network with people that do Medicaid assistance. Some of those people are looking to get rid of their homes without the government noticing. So they may even deed it over to you and then allow you to do seller financing. It all depends. But you need to get the training for that. You can't just start calling people, yeah, you're in a living facility, let me get your house. Like there's a way you got to go about it, and there's a technique. Let's see. I think we have all of the questions answered. Oh, hold on. Would you consider doing a training on maneuvering Propstream? Yes. Yes. So what I will say is Propstream with the free trial, they actually give you a training on there for free. So they actually give you the training. So I don't have to really do one per se. I can. But they actually have like their own training videos. I don't know if you're gonna wind up joining the private coaching group, but if you do, I'm actually gonna include Propstream in there for free. So I didn't really tell y'all that because we didn't get to that step. Yeah, but Propstream will be included in the private coaching group for free. So Propstream is typically $100 a month. You will not be paying $100. Yeah, I don't use Flipstar, but I think they're all using the same database. Flipstar. Yeah, I think they use the same like white labeling, and they just change the name. But I'm almost certain that it's all the same stuff. Yep. And I'm going to offer another database, which will have I think this one is going to have a CRM as well. And you'll get that for free too when you join the private group coaching. And you'll also get a website. So those are a couple little perks and gems I'm going to throw in there. But I'm only opening up the private coaching group to 5 people. We technically already have 1. So 4 people. All right, so it says, oh, I already answered that question. All right, so I don't have any more questions to answer. But if y'all have any questions, let me know. And I'm glad to hear that you're gonna join, Stevenson. Awesome. So you already know what you have to do, Stevenson. We gotta get to work. Because we have a lot of things to do in 2021. I might do a wholesaling challenge where we will go through like 30 days of, or maybe it'll probably, I think 30 days. I don't want to stick with wholesaling for a whole 60, maybe 45 days, who knows? But it'll be anywhere from 30 to 60 days of what you should do as a wholesaler starting out in a new market. If you're starting from ground zero, and we're going to show you like cheap ways to get started, or we'll say free ways to get started, cheap ways to get started. That means you have to invest a little bit of money. And then they have like a premium way to get started with advanced marketing. But more than likely, we're going to be doing the free and the cheap way. Okay. So the actual private group coaching is going to start in January. So like the first week of January. But to hold your spot, you have to do that as soon as possible, of course. Okay. And that's really for people that are serious. They know that they want to, well, they should want to start investing. And at the end of like 6 months, they have their own property and or starting a development project. Like that should be your goal for that type of private group coaching, excuse me. Now, if you don't have capital, we can also help you build capital through other real estate other methods. But it's going to take probably longer than 6 months to do that. Okay. So this is why I didn't want to just put it out there. Every person's going to have their own goals. So we have to just figure out, are you interested in achieving your goals? And if you're going to allow me to work with you, or if I'm going to allow you to work with me, whatever is clever. But we need to have that talk because some people are just still fishing for information. And what I learned this week is you do have to pay attention. People get free information all the time, but they don't really utilize it because it's free. They're not taking it serious. So I know a few people who thought that they could learn everything off of YouTube, and 2 years later, unfortunately, they didn't make any money in this business. Okay, YouTube is only going to touch the surface of investing. It's just going to give you an idea or a concept. It's not going to show you step by step by step of what you need to do for everything. So what I've learned this week is you definitely have to pay attention. I mean, I had to pay something to get something. And I'm excited though. Like I'm really excited for the group of people that I am going to be working on. So Nigel, I don't give out the prices online. You're going to have to call me. And you have my number, so call me. So yeah, I'm not going to give out the price. Because I'm not a salesperson. I do really care about the growth of everyone. And I do understand some people are not going to be ready. So I'm going to have to meet everybody where they are as far as, all right, well, you're not ready for this program, but maybe in the future you might be, you know, maybe if I come up with an ebook, not saying I'm going to come out with an ebook on how to do step by step, but, you know, maybe if I come up with something else that might be appealing for you or something you can get at that time. But when we get on a call and once I figure out exactly where you are, I think I know where you are, Nigel. So we'll figure out a plan, an action plan for you and how we're going to move forward. Now, for the masterclass, the nonprofit masterclass, Nigel, is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about the group coaching? As the nonprofit masterclass, I know it's going to be at about $50. So what masterclass are you talking about? Okay, group coaching, yeah. So I'll talk to you about that on the phone when we speak. So you could just text my phone, or you can go to my calendar in the bio and just select the home buyer consult, and it's free. You don't have to pay. Okay, so the nonprofit masterclass, I'm finishing up the dates and I'm working on a flyer because I'm doing it with someone else. So everything has to be aligned because they're really busy. But that's definitely going to be before the end of the year. If I can get it done in the next 3 weeks, that'll be my goal. Yeah. And for that one, I may or may not even do like a step-by-step. I mean, the nonprofit class is just going to be like everything you could do with a nonprofit, how much money you can make with a nonprofit, the benefits of a nonprofit, the different programs, grants, stuff like that. And then I do know the woman does charge about, if you needed to set up a nonprofit, she charges about like $800. I might, off the record, for those that's joining the coaching group, I'm more than likely going to show you how to do it yourself. Now, if you want me to do it for you, then I'll have to charge you for that. But I'm almost certain I'll be able to show you how to do it step by step. It's not that hard. It's just a lot of paperwork that you need to process, and you need to process it correctly, else they may reject your application. Okay, so for the coaching group members, we'll get an action plan. Yes, specific to their situation. Absolutely. Yep. It's not going to be generic. And that's why I'm not taking a lot of people. I'm only going to take 5. Or 4 more, we'll say. Actually, it's only 3 more. I forgot. My fiance added somebody to the group, and they actually paid already. So, and it's not going to be super expensive. Just so you know, I'm not going to hit you over the head for $5,000. I'm not doing nothing crazy like that. All right. Yep. So I can't remember your name right now. I'm sorry. But the beautiful queen I spoke to earlier, history is a part of me. Yeah, so I know you already started on your journey. I know your ultimate goal is to be developing properties and projects, and I think you have some land already. So we're going to specifically work on what you have going on now and how we can help you scale Not even help you, how you're going to scale, period. So the masterclass, and I mean, we'll talk Shanna, right? The masterclass, so Nigel asks, do I need to join the masterclass along with the group coaching? Yeah, you probably want to. I would say so. Because let's say, so put it like this, the guru that I'm working with, she's not really coming into the coaching program. So she's going to answer all of your specific questions for nonprofits. Like, she is the nonprofit specialist. I have a nonprofit, but that doesn't make me a specialist. I still sometimes hire people like her to help me get grants and stuff like that. And I'm not really going to show you how to get grants. Like, she's going to show you how to get grants, and, well, show you the type of grants that she can get you. She sometimes give out websites. Like, I've literally heard her name drop websites personally. Actually, I need to go find those notes because she's given out at least like 4 websites before for grants. And I don't know what type of nonprofit you want to start, but if you just want to start one and get your 501c3 certification, that I can help you with. But if you want to learn how to get all these grants and how to do proposals, I'm not writing no one's proposals. I write my own, but I'm not doing it for people. And that wouldn't be a part of the academy. That would be a separate charge if I did have to write a proposal for you. Even as a developer, sometimes you have to write proposals, just so you know. To get grants for your nonprofit, you need to sometimes. And I'm not going to be doing proposals personally. I'm going to give you a template, and then you have to put the words in there. So Stevenson asked about grant writing and researching. So she does what she does as a nonprofit guru. She does paid for you services. So you're going to pay her to do stuff for you. She doesn't really show you how to write. I'm trying to think, did she? I can't remember. But I know she gave you the websites on where you would typically find it. And then what I noticed is, I remember with myself, I got overwhelmed. I'm like, I can't read all of this. So that's why you would pay her to do it for you. And I think for you, Stevenson, you already have your nonprofit up and running, but now I think your nonprofit is sitting idle. So you probably need some advice on what to do next, how you can even fundraise and stuff like that. So, yeah. She might be able to help you with that. Actually, I think I did a training with her, and it was about fundraising. So sometimes I have like a lot of trainings in my arsenal that I didn't even get to, literally. But the good thing is I'll be able to literally write down some notes and give that to people that I'm coaching, right? In the real estate investing space. And then if you want to really dive into it, I'm giving you my source. And then let's say you have a similar situation, I might be able to say, okay, this is what I use. You can use this. But everybody's situation is different. Like my nonprofit, it has so many different components that I can't just give you my paperwork and say, here, go copy it. Because mine is a specialty. And mine is going to be like a fintech nonprofit, just so you know. And I had to pay money for that. But all right. So I think we're done here. This was great. I hope everybody have like a wonderful, wonderful and blessed Thanksgiving. I did this live today because I know everybody's going to be with their family tomorrow. I want to make sure I got it out. Friday, I will be traveling to Las Vegas during the pandemic. And on our next meeting in the academy will be on Tuesday, not Monday. Of course, if you have any questions in the academy, you can post it. I'll see it there. If you do have my telephone number, you can text me. Don't call me because I may not be available. So don't get mad if I don't answer. Only because I'll be on like a vacation. I won't really be working this weekend. Thank you so much. Yeah, I hope everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. Normally I would have something more motivational to say, but my brain is packed. And soon I'll be doing like a special Journey to Jesus live. So I'll let you know about that. We'll actually be talking about like, I don't even know what book in the Bible, but we're actually going to read the Bible together. Or I'm going to teach something from the Bible. So hopefully before the month of December is over, if you're a faith-based or you are a Christian or a follower of Jesus, you might appreciate that. So the podcast is in the bio. And we're on Apple Podcast and Google Podcasts. And we're also on YouTube. So you can go check out the last couple of episodes on YouTube. But then I'm going to have a new episode released, hopefully, God willing, by Friday. I'm waiting on the person's picture right now. And then the editing's done. God willing, on Friday, I'm going to drop a new episode. And that's going to be regarding digital real estate. I just said, yes, you need more episodes on that. Yes, I do. I'm sorry. Yes. I think everybody done listen. All right. So what you should do is, if you haven't listened to the podcast, the name of the podcast is Journey to DevelopHer. Go check it out on YouTube, Apple iTunes, I think Spotify, Google Podcasts. Make sure you go rate it. Give me a 5-star rating, please. Okay? Leave a comment, like it on YouTube, share it, subscribe, show support. Share it with everybody you know. And also in the group, also, I'm going to post something in the group for Google reviews. Leave me a Google review on the internet. Okay? All of those things are important. And at some time, I'm going to probably teach y'all about branding. Actually, on the new podcast episode, we're going to talk about branding a little bit. But as I build my brand, I'm going to, help you build your brand as well. Especially if you're going to be an investor or realtor, you should have an internet presence. So when you're contacting these sellers and homeowners and other people, when they Google you, you're going to pop up. So that's why it's important to have a social media platform. And what I would also recommend is getting active on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, that's where the people with the money at. Okay, that's where you're going to find those asset managers, those REO agents for your probate deals, those people that are managers of living assisted facilities where these old people are. That's where you're going to do your real networking. Like IG is for people, I don't even know what IG is for. But I'm on here, we on here. But the real money makers, the movers and the shakers, they're on LinkedIn. Okay. Thank you so much, Nigel. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. All right. So I love you all. Thanks for the support. Thanks for joining me tonight. We will talk soon. I'm surprised they didn't cut me off. I've been on here for over an hour. Okay. Instagram. They being nice to me tonight. But anyway, good night. God bless. We'll talk soon.